This lesson looks at the rise of the German Air Force leading into World War II, the Luftwaffe. As Amelia Earhart was making her final flight across the Pacific, Germany was building up its Air Force, its Luftwaffe. After World War I, one of the major restrictions placed on Germany was the ban on having an Air Force. This word restriction means to place rules or limits on a person or a country to stop them from doing something. After World War I, there were many restrictions placed on Germany during the interwar years. One of these big restrictions was they couldn't build an Air Force. So, Germany started to build their Air Force in secret. During the interwar years, Germany sent students to flight school under the pretense that they would become civilian pilots. This allowed Germany to train pilots without appearing to build up an actual Air Force. But by 1935, the Luftwaffe's existence was known, and they were now no longer training just in secret. In the early 1930s, the chief of the Luftwaffe envisioned building many long-range bombing aircraft. However, when he died in 1936, the new chief of the Luftwaffe had a very different vision and started to build smaller, lightweight, faster fighter planes. This decision to move away from long-range, large bombing aircraft to small fighter planes had a serious impact on the war. With smaller planes, the Luftwaffe would be able to dominate the airspace during battles, but they would not be able to reach deep into country on major bombing runs. Now, when I say the Luftwaffe would be able to dominate battles in the air, that word dominate means they would have power or be in control during these battles. And indeed, especially early in the war, Luftwaffe was a very dominant force. But it's hard to say what would have happened if they had focused more on building long-range bombing aircraft instead of smaller fighters, and how that would have affected the outcome of the war. Needless to say, by 1939, the Luftwaffe was a military organization to be feared. They had approximately 370,000 air troops and 4,200 airplanes. Whether the rest of the world was ready or not, Germany was prepared for war. Thanks everyone, I'll see you next time.